Good evening. We are back. Welcome to 2025. We are joined this week by Ed, aka Silly Ghillie. I don't know what would be the best way to introduce you, Ed? Do we prefer to as Mr. Ghillie first, or Ed,
Mr. Ghillie,
aka Mr. Silly Ghillie, or
Your Highness?
Yeah,
Highness. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's fine.
Lord Ed. That has a nice ring to it, I think, doesn't it?
Just Ed's fine.
He's like, oh, yeah, I remember why I don't come on here.
We're going to be chatting about all sorts of bits and bobs this evening. So we've got some podcast news. We've got obviously Ed to join us to just chat the breeze. There's lots of exciting things coming up in 2025, as well as I was hoping Ed, by all means, veto this because I didn't brief you beforehand, but I was hoping we could talk a little bit about sniper tactics as well. Between, just an element of that, if that's all right. So yeah, we got a lot of exciting things coming. For those that don't know Ed, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Ed. I started airsofting about 11 years ago, and then about 4 years ago, during COVID, or just after COVID, started a YouTube channel, which is called Silly Ghillie, and basically 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, it sort of took off and it became my job. And unfortunately this year I've had to take a step back because I've had a lot going on. I've moved house and had some other things going on. But this year I'm back on it. And so, yeah, I've already had 2 videos this year. And yeah, that's now my thing.
Nice.
It's always good to have you.
Yeah, I got to meet your videos. Are good. The last one that I saw was you riding. Basically, it looked like you were riding Lance.
No, it was Kenny.
You had a little short. Oh, was it Kenny?
Yeah, I got told off. I got a slap on the wrist from Lance on that actually, because I didn't mention all of the shots were from Invicta, but that one shot of being on the quad bike was from the event, and I said filmed at Invicta, and I forgot to mention. Anyway, it's got to find something.
Yeah.
Well, while mentioning Lance, he's unable to join us this week because he's starting his new job. So all the best for you, Lance, and hope you see you on the show.
What is his new job?
Well, not tonight, but I think it's still the same thing. I think it's just different iteration of said job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different tunnel.
Yes. Yeah. Same cables. different payer.
We're joined live on the audience by Kenny, Les, Marky Mark, and Chris. Hello at the moment. There are more around, but you're all keeping a bit quiet, so feel free to say hello. If you have a question for Ed, please throw it in the chat. A little cue at the beginning just helps us find those. But we actually have some news, Andy. We can start 2025 with some actual news.
It's not great news, but
it's not great news, but I get to run the little news VT that I like running, so we'll come back after that.
I take my gun and I go pew, 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 pew.
News.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I'm used to it, mate. I'm used to it.
Oh,
yeah. So
right, here we go.
So this has been doing the rounds. I've had actually a couple of people email me directly about this. This is the Temu AliExpress special. After talking to certain people, this was a test fire with a one dual rent weapon on .2s, and this was sold as a airsoft and paintball safety mask. As you can see, it says safe. You might as well put toilet paper over your eyes. It'd probably be safer.
How do you know? Sorry to be devil's advocate here, but how do we know they haven't just shot it with a real gun or an air rifle and made it look like that when it's actually safe?
Because I've had quite a few people.
And also, who would go to that level of...
Yeah, who would want to...
AliExpress is out to get Temu. That's what it is.
Yeah. Basically, the moral of the story is don't buy iPro or Face Pro from AliExpress or Temu. Would be my one. Like Amazon is pushing it, in my opinion, but you've only got one set of eyes, and they don't grow back, so don't risk it.
I would extend that. I would say don't buy it from an unreputable source to start with. Like,
Yeah.
If it's not properly like rated in terms of its BS.
There is no like really clear formatted guide for airsoft. I know there are like ballistic ratings and all kinds of grades, but there's not one for airsoft.
So it's funny you say that, Ed. I've been writing one. There is a very clear and concise guide that will explain all of the ratings. It pulls off some information from sort of various other sources. I've been cross-referencing everything. So it is reputable fact rather than just our opinion. But that will be available on the website within the end of this month, which will be a web version and a PDF version that'll be available. The reason it's taking a while is because we want to make sure it's proper bomb-proof. I don't want us to write something and basically someone gets it and then sues us because we've told them the wrong information. So,
yeah,
there's something coming.
The other problem is you've got about 100 different brands of eye protection out there.
Yeah.
Whereas if there was just 10, it would be a lot easier to sort of compare them. But there's just too many.
So the best way of doing it is to look for the BS number. So the British Standard number on the inside. And for the life of me, I've been staring at it for the last week and I can't remember what it is. But it's BSEN 4 something. That basically gives an indication as to what any eye protection is rated to. So that is a number that you will find on any PPE related to. So go Screwfix or something like that, and you find some eye protection there, which I'm not saying is rated for airsoft, but eye protection comes in different standards and forms and bits and pieces like that. And sort of standard safety specs will have a little rating number on there. And if you want to go to the effort before our handy guide comes out, you can actually look that information up and it will tell you what the ballistic rating is for that eye protection. And ballistic doesn't mean, yes, it stops a bullet. It just means that it's been tested by various projectiles at various speeds and kind of tells you what the expected deformation and sort of the strength of the frames, etc., and everything is. So there is information out there. Appreciate that it is sometimes tricky to find, but we will have our own guides coming out, which will hopefully clear that up. We just need to be careful at the moment. So I'm not gonna go into it anymore until I've checked everything. But Andy, you're a marshal at the site. I mean, you must have seen a fair bit of this.
Oh, we've seen
issues.
Cheap iPro pop up all the time, and you can tell it as soon as someone walks up to have their weapon chronographed, you can tell instantly that this iPro needs testing. Rift are very good. What they do is we tend to find someone with a higher power weapon, and we'll go and put it down range. And we normally do it 10 and 5 meters and shoot it with something a little bit more stronger. So, for example, if Ed was there, we'd ask him to take a couple of shots with his sniper rifle on it, within the minute MED normally, just to give it like a proper
within the MED.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? We'll proper pressure test it there and then. And we've had BBs that have gone straight through eye protection and not cracked it like that. It's literally just left a perfect circle with a little bit of spider in, which is even more concerning. But yeah, it's
the one I've seen this twice now at Imperium. Someone's mate has turned up with sunglasses, just sunglasses.
Love it.
Not even like the ones that wrap round, just the aviator sunglasses.
Oh yeah,
and it's so obvious that the marshals missed him on the game.
Really?
He went out into the game zone and was just playing with sunglasses.
Wow.
But yeah, I saw
That's
the game. And
scary, isn't it? Yeah.
It's an interesting one testing iPro at a site because there is an issue, and as soon as you test iPro, technically, you've run the risk of damaging said iPro, and therefore you should really consider replacing that.
It should be able to withstand at least a burst of full auto.
Yeah.
So, but if you are full autoing your safety specs from like 5 meters away, or even point blank, and then take those out into a game zone, I would have concerns about that. I mean, it's the same.
Oh no! If they're tested, we'll give the and it survives, and if there is like visible damage on it, then obviously we come to an agreement with that player at the time, and that would be down to the head marshal.
It'll be a right kicker if you spent like £200 on some actual decent iPro, and then someone goes, "Oh yeah, well I ran a fucking tank over it and I've broken." I'm not saying Riftwood.
Yeah,
I ran a tank over it and it's broken. And you're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for that."
Yeah, but no, obviously, if there's like visible damage, then at that point we would say that it's more of a proof to everyone else that this iPro is not worth a damn. The other one that I've seen a lot recently pop up from a martial point of view is I call them horse blinkers. So they connect onto the side of glasses.
You shoot the. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, like they're like horse blinkers and they clip on. Now I know you can get rated spectacles done, but from my understanding, those horse blinkers, they can't be rated because they're not. It's something to do with it's like a clip on, so you could hit it and it could clip off, like fall off. From my understanding,
twice actually.
Oh, have you?
They have actually fallen off. One person got shot on the clip, and it broke the clip, and the whole iPro just swung off.
Wow. Yeah. So for us, like obviously I can only speak for Rift and my marshalling experience, but for us, if we see horse blinkers, then we say that's not good enough, like straight away. The lenses might be absolutely fine, like they may have ballistic rated lenses, but
great as they fly away.
Yeah. But no, it's at the end of the day, just be sensible. Like it's your eyes at the end of the day. And most sites have masks available. So if you turn up and they say no, we're not happy with that, that's the site's choice. Don't kick off about it. They're the ones that are there to look after you at the end of the day.
So there we go. Don't be a knobhead. Buy a decent iPro. And if you don't know what decent iPro is, do a bit of research. And feel free to ask us. Because, if you want to get in touch with us, well, we're not experts. We can obviously kind of point you in the right direction.
Yeah. We can steer you.
Yes. Right. That's the end of the negativity. So let's end the news.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
End
Welcome
of
back,
news.
2025.
Right. So main question I've got for the two of you. Did you have any exciting Christmas-related airsoft presents? Or let's expand that slightly. Things that you then purchased over Christmas because no one got you any exciting Christmas presents that relate to airsoft, and you went, "No, fuck it, I'm going to buy my
own." I got some merino wool socks, which are really good for wet weather. Because if you get blisters, they're so soft. They're kind of like how do I describe this? They just slide inside your boot and don't give you blisters. So, and they're really soft. Yeah, that was my only airsoft related present. I don't trust my family, and my family doesn't trust themselves with knowing what I want airsoft wise. So, why would they? I tried to talk to them at the Christmas dinner actually about an airsoft product, but the conversation moved swiftly on.
See, I was sensible this year. What I did about 3-4 months before Christmas, I wrote a list. And when I mean a list, I mean it was a list. There must have been 40 items on it, ranging from £300 all the way down to $2.99.
I was going to say 25 of these 30 things being Agilite. I assume.
yeah, and literally and on the thing that I wanted, I gave a link of where to get it from. So they couldn't get it wrong this year. They couldn't get it wrong. So I got quite a bit of Airsoft stuff. I got an Agilite front placard to bring it in a little bit smaller for CQ beings. One little grumble. Now, I know I am a bit of an Agilite fanboy, and I will happily admit that. I would highly recommend that if you are in the UK, do not spend your money on their IFAK pouch. It's £75. And looking on the website, it's very misleading because it looks like it comes fully loaded out with medical supplies. They don't ship medical supplies to the UK, something to do with EU regulations and Israeli bandages and stuff and things. So Agilite don't ship it over. So you spend £75 and you get a tiny pouch, which I did not realise. So I unwrapped it, all excited to get like a full IFAK kit, and then I opened it up and went, oh, it's just the pouch. So Agilite, if you ever listen to this, be a little bit more specific. I can't speak now. Specific on your website.
Anything from you, Mike?
I got an Agilite cummerbund from my dear friend Andrew. Purchased one, I believe he got the wrong size, and then there was some error or something, and I was very fortunate to be gifted it by Andy. So I'm very excited. I haven't had a chance yet to put it on my plate carrier, being that I've been sorting out most of my garage. But that's exciting. I'm yet to become an Agilite fanboy, but I now have some Agilite stuff.
He's nearly there.
Yeah, one thing I did buy myself, and this is going to be really boring. I bought myself some gloves. Now, these are, I've talked about these before. These are from Screwfix. These are the welding gauntlets. Well, they're welding gauntlets. They're designed for.
They're heat proof. Are they actually heat proof gloves?
They are a lot more thermal efficient, Ed, than your sealskin ones that you used. I'll tell you that for a fact. But these are basically really thick welding gloves. They are designed as welders' gauntlets. But I have used these for gardening. I've used these for bush crafting and everything like that. Like, I wouldn't necessarily start throwing loads of hot coals around with them, but as a quick in and out type jobby, these are going to kind of give you quite a bit of decent protection for your hands. I need to spray them up a little bit because they are very red. I look like Father Christmas when I put these bad boys on. But they are decent gloves, and they're only like £7 a pair. So I was in Screwfix and I was like, oh, I'm going to buy myself a pair.
There you go.
Myself a new pair of those. So that's very exciting.
And they go in the Murga bag rather well.
They do. I mean, they won't live in the murder bag. One of the reasons I bought these the first time is because after we went to Op Machiavellian Alpha with Defiant Events at Gunman. What Gunman is it? Gunman. What's the one in Essex? The L-shaped one with the pig farm.
Oh, I can't remember what it was called.
There's an Octo 8 event that was held at the Gunman site in Eversley, or around Eversley, basically. And it involved going through a lot of thorn bushes and things like that. And I didn't have Tubnham. Thank you very much, Carl. We went through a lot of thorn bushes and things like that, and I ripped my fingers to shit. These gloves I've subsequently used for all sorts of gardening, and nothing goes through these. Or if it does, then it is, something that you can very easily see and try and avoid. So good pair of gloves.
Well, Merry Christmas to both of you.
Yeah, and to you. Thank you. Right, we've got a bit of news. Exciting news.
Oh, yes.
So we had a NoFo COB, which is the acronym for Conference of Bullshit, because that's what most of our conferences and meetings.
We did actually really well.
We did really well.
Like normally our COBs last about 3-4 hours, and 2 hours of that is literal talking about nothing in particular.
That's overly generous. It's usually about 3.5 hours of that.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched this show, you know full well that we go off on tangents. But
this time we smashed it out of the park, I think.
Yeah.
Like we've actually organised stuff for 2025.
So we discussed, and I'm not going to run through all of this because
have we got a drum roll?
Make some notes. We do. Oh, that's the wrong drum roll.
No, that's the wrong one.
That'll have to do. I
That
don't
was
have
close
the,
enough. That'll do.
Yeah. So basically, we are looking at some events that we are attending / organising. So we're going to be doing the 24-hour live show. We're currently in talks for a date for that. We're going to be attending Shift Your Riffs again. We've been in various talks with various people about a Phoenix Part 2 / a Phoenix prequel. So there's a few ideas knocking about for those at the moment. But more importantly, there's some admin side of things as well that we've been working off. So we are going to be taking the community groups and the forums off of the website. These have been vastly underutilized over the last year and a half. And to be perfectly honest with you, taking the time to manage those, if they're not being utilized, is a waste of time. So we're going to bin those off. But we are going to be increasing our presence on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and potentially Discord as well. This is a new technology to us. We're not 100% aware of what it is, but apparently someone out there has a lot of information on Discord.
And he knows who he is.
Yes. So we may be on something called Discord soon. Have you ever used Discord, Ed?
I would highly recommend, if you're doing anything airsoft related, to use Discord, because it is not there's not any strict rules governing what you can and can't sell or say about airsoft stuff, because it's a server set up for gaming. Obviously the terms come up all the time, like weapons. They think you're talking about video games, so the algorithm is different for it. It's quite it's like a loophole for airsoft.
Liberating.
Yeah, maybe we're going to become Discord experts by the end of the year, guarantee you.
Yeah,
and then we're going to all watch this video back and go, nope, we know nothing about it.
Yeah, I need training.
We also have a increased presence on Reddit as well. For those of you that are interested,
do we?
We do.
That was really high pitched. There was a general surprise there.
And buy me a coffee. So for those of you who have very kindly supported the show over the last few years on Buy Me a Coffee, for those that you don't know, we have a Buy Me a Coffee, and it's basically a way that people can contribute towards the running costs of the show. So it's not a case of any of the money goes to Andy, Lance, or I. It literally all runs into the pot to cover the podcast fees. But what we're doing, we have 3 membership tiers on Buy Me a Coffee. There's a £3, a £5, and a £10 membership tier. So this year, as a thank you to all of our Buy Me a Coffee subscribers, up until those that joined before Christmas, we are giving away a sticker pack for all of the tier 3 or 1. I don't know, the £3 a month.
1, I think. It is.
Yep, tier 2, so the £5 a month, are going to be getting a Buy Me a Coffee sticker and patch, with sticker pack and patch, and then the £10 a month, you are receiving a Buy Me a Coffee t-shirt. Now, when I say Buy Me a Coffee, it's not a mug on a t-shirt, because that would be really boring. We're basically creating
three mugs.
3 mugs.
3 mugs.
It's just Ed. That's why we've got him on the show. He doesn't know about it. We're just going to have Ed's face on a t-shirt. It'd be amazing. But camoed up, so you won't know he's him.
I like it.
But basically, we're going to have some unique Buy Me a Coffee stuff for the Buy Me a Coffee subscribers, and that will consist of stickers, patches, and t-shirts. So that will be coming out. It will take us a little while to get those in process, but we have a list of who those people are. So thank you for supporting us, and we are going to be making more use of our Buy Me a Coffee platform in the form of also potentially offering t-shirts. One of the big things last year is that everybody was constantly telling us that they wanted a November Foxtrot t-shirt. So we have spent the last month basically coming up with various designs. We haven't got them fixed yet.
No,
we're still working on them.
We're in the final stages though.
Yes.
We've got designs.
We have a supplier.
we have a supplier, we have a printer, and we are basically set up, ready to go. We've just got to choose the designs and then just get a couple of testers printed. So I would say, actually, I'm going to put a date on it. February.
I think it'd be before that. But we'll aim for that's worst case target.
Start of February. We will have merch, including hoodies, because I want a hoodie. So keep an eye on our socials, because we'll be posting up some pictures. We might even put it down to some voting for you guys of which ones you might want. We might ask for your opinions. So yeah, just keep an eye on our socials for the rest of the month, and hopefully we'll have some merch coming out February.
Ed, with your permission, legally recorded on YouTube and Facebook right now, could I come up with a Silly Ghillie sticker that you are allowed to veto if you don't like it?
Yeah.
Because I can include that in the Buy Me a Coffee pack. We'll have a little Silly Ghillie sticker.
Oh, can we have like a little anime Silly Ghillie with his hands on fire?
Knock yourselves out. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll talk to you after the show, Ed. We'll come up with some.
I keep getting people to. I keep guessing people asking for a patch, like a Silly Ghillie patch, but I don't. It's something about having like a fanboy following, which I'm just not that keen on. But I'm not saying that's not what I'm going for, because I don't want to be mean. But the thought of having my own patch is, I don't know.
You know what you could do though? If you bought a really thick shag carpet or rug, right, that's kind of like a green speckledy colours, you could just cut circles of those and give those to people. Just with a bit of Velcro on and be like, it's a ghillie patch.
Or a bit of AstroTurf, a bit of fake AstroTurf. Stuck on a bit of Velcro. There you go, lads.
Rough around the edges. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely have one of those.
Yeah, I'd have a Velcro AstroTurf patch.
I'll consider it.
Right, so that's we'll come out with some t-shirt stuff in the next few weeks in terms of logos and images and bits and pieces like that for people to have a look at. And yeah, we're going to be using Buy Me a Coffee as the sales platform for that. So it means we can sell merch through that. So,
but you don't have to be you don't
have to be a supporter or anything like that. But it does allow us to give discounts to people who are supporters through that. That makes sense. So, but we're not going to be selling them for an awful lot of money. So, we're trying to keep it down as much as possible. The majority of the cost on them basically covers the t-shirt, the printing, and the postage. And we're looking at basically adding like £1 or something on top of that. So please don't see it as a money-making opportunity for us. We're doing it to hopefully boost our coffers a little bit, but at the same time, give you boys and girls all the t-shirts that you keep asking us for. So that's the plan.
Yes.
So yeah.
We've also worked out that Lance might finally get his November Foxtrot tea towel. So if anyone wants a November Foxtrot tea towel, please let us know. Because mugs. we will do a limited batch of something.
Oh, and schmags. So we've been looking at trying to get custom made schmags. They are a nightmare. No, it's schmags. I got told off for saying schmags.
What do you call them, Ed?
Schmags.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, I've been looking into trying to get those made. They are a nightmare. I will continue looking. But we're not yet there with those. Pegasus asks, Ed, does this mean from now on, if I see Ed at the field, I need to go full fangirl?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you're a girl, I don't mind having fan girls. It's the fan boys.
I mean, we can dress up for you, Ed. So there is scope for interpretation there, boys and girls.
There's only limited how far people's interpretation will go, though.
It's like a fig leaf is all I need for you, Andy.
Oh, lovely. Right, I'll dig it out.
Weirdly, over the face.
Yeah. They don't do fig leaves big enough for my belly.
Right, Ed. What are you doing in 2025? This is the kind of the crux of what I wanted to get to. So, what are your plans?
Well, over the last year, I've sort of looked back at what I was trying to find when I started making the videos a feel to the video, like what kind of niche feeling do I go for? And I was looking back, and I like the ones that I like. I did all kinds. Like I was an eclectic bunch of videos that didn't really have a clear theme to them. So I thought this year I'd kind of narrow it down to like one theme and try and get really good at it. So I guess that's the only change that will be happening this year. The feel I'm going, the idea of the video would be like the slow stalking sniper crawling through a bush, like with tense music, as opposed to the funny, silly ones, which I think they kind of die off after about 2 minutes. The sort of slow anxiety build videos do better. In terms of kit and gear and events and stuff, I don't think there's anything that new. I do definitely want to try and do more of the sniper only events. For those that did, I think everyone on your podcast has heard of Empire Rising now, but yeah, there were 2 events last year that I think were a success. And there's a bit of a possible new site opening up in the southeast, so that's good for that event type. So I hope there's going to be more opportunities for that. I want to do more than just 2 this year. I want to have like maybe 5 or 6 if we can. There's definitely a community of snipers who are like dedicated snipers and are really interested to do it. It's just they haven't heard about it yet, and that's kind of my fault as much as Kenny's. In terms of kits, I've had the same rifle now for. I'm looking at it now. I can't show it, can I? But I've had it for the same one for the last 6 years, and I don't really want to change it. It's like my baby. So I don't. Nothing new kit wise.
If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Is this the lever action one you got?
Sorry?
Is this with the lever action you've got on there?
Yeah, lever action.
It is.
Yeah,
nice.
the lever action's cool. Was that the aftermarket one? The one that was that?
Oh, sorry, no. So yes, I did buy. I have tried one other gun, and that was the lever action. That's no. I'm talking about my bolt action.
Sorry.
I did do the lever action. Yeah, that will be coming out this year for sure.
Have you got any events that you're definitely going to this year, or are you just waiting to see what your availability is like?
To be honest, I haven't seen that many event organisers advertise new events. I know Defined has one coming up. I haven't said yes to that yet. I'm definitely going to NAF this year, and I'll be doing Shift Your Rift as well.
Yeah.
Andy.
Yes, mate. Let me know. You can come and camp with us, mate.
This week I'm playing at Invicta, and the week after that I'm actually going to Redcon. So if you're at Redcon, I'll be there.
I'll probably be at Blackstone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my baby at the moment.
I've played at Blackstone twice already.
Have you?
Yeah, missed you both times though.
Oh, that's annoying.
Did you take a sniper? Surely you didn't take a sniper.
Well, no, obviously not. But all my mates from Invicta, they love CQB. So when a new CQB site opens up, they're all over it, and I just go along just to. Yeah, I play Airsoft for fun.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean that would have been perfect for like the rubbish ghillie. You could have copied that idea, mate. That would have worked.
What are you trying to say? Is your site with a rubbish bin blend?
No,
into your
just the
site?
fact that I don't sweep up. Like, you
Yeah.
could have hidden quite easily.
No, it's anything but. It's it's
Mm.
the most pretty indoor site I've ever been to. It's the most well done up site I've ever been to, I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I had nothing to do with the decorating.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You need a ghillie suit that's like nicely wallpapered as a wall. That'd be great.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Some of the wallpaper patterns we've still got some left, mate. So if you message me, if you want to have a laugh and some good like, I know you said you weren't going to do funny videos, but if you want, hit me up and we might get you a wallpaper ghillie.
I'll have a look.
Yeah.
Oh, talking of funny ghillie suits, you know the high vis ghillie suit, Ed? I now have a high vis plate carrier to go with it.
Do you? Have you got it?
Slowly. I don't have it to hand, unfortunately. It's out in the garage at the moment, but I will send you a picture afterwards because it is very entertaining. I'm slowly building up a health and safety loadout. So
Right.
big flashing light on the helmet and things like that, which would be quite entertaining. So,
I just want to spray. I want to spray one of your guns.
What, high vis?
High vis, and then round the barrel and round the stock, put the glow tape.
As a tape.
Yeah.
Ed Pegasus asks, do you still have the KCO2?
That's the lever action that he's talking about. Yes, I do still have that, and it will get quite a bit of use this year, I reckon. I can't use it in the winter because it's CO2 mags and they're not so well. They work, but they're not. It's not. You don't get consistent FPS, which means they're not very accurate. In the summer, they're great though.
Cool.
Lovely.
Right. One thing I wanted to find out, Ed, is when you go sniping, do you play a full lone wolf style game, or do you generally tend to play with teammates? Now, I know that you do both. Okay, right. So you've got teammates now. Because I know you used to do, because I know when we spoke a long time ago, you used to quite like, from my understanding, kind of the solo play and stalking and stuff like that. But I know that there's been times where you and I have played together, and I've seen you obviously playing with others in terms of your videos and just out in the field and stuff as well. So, what do you prefer and why, basically?
2, maybe 3. Like that's what I prefer. It's not always possible to find a partner at a skirmish. Like I'm playing every Sunday, or when I'm recording, I'm playing every Sunday, and it's not always possible to find like a teammate or a friend to go play with. So some videos I've done are just by myself. But yeah, no, it's always better to have at least one other person with you. In Airsoft, obviously, getting medics back in is like a massive advantage. So it is often the case that one of you will get taken out, and then they'll think the whole place is clear. They'll come and sort of do a sweep, and then your mate shoots the others and comes and medics you back in. So yeah, I do play as a team. I don't like at Milsims. The annoying thing about some of the early Milsims that I went to, like 6-7 years ago, when you turned up as a sniper, they put you in the reconnaissance role, which is not they have their vision of the event and you have your vision of the event, and they're two very separate things if you are like me, because I just want to shoot people. So I learned quite early on that the way to not get put on the reconnaissance team is to go with a team, like a squad, and not say you're a sniper. And then when you turn up, you just put you just put the ghillie suit on at the last minute and surprise everyone, saying I'm a sniper, I'm a support sniper. And then luckily they haven't got any like part of storyline where you got to do a reconnaissance role and you're just there with everyone else. But yeah, not
the way
not reconnaissance.
The way you said that was all of a sudden, I just got the meme of Homer just disappearing into the bush. Ed just turns up and goes, "Fade away."
Yeah.
And you don't see him for the rest of the event.
Yeah, I mean, reconnaissance roles can be quite dull from the perspective of people go to milsims because ultimately you want that balance of airsoft, i.e. shooting at other people within the confines of an airsoft game, and the role play and the LARP and everything like that. Whereas reconnaissance is very role play heavy. You are, effectively keeping eyes on people. You're not really taking that shot. So I can imagine that is quite frustrating.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I'm not anti milsim and anti roleplay. If they want to have a reconnaissance team, by all means, go ahead. I just don't. It's just not what I like from airsoft. Having said that, there have been some SEO. I did an SEO milsim at Dog Tag about 3 years ago, and I was on a reconnaissance role there. And although I didn't shoot anyone for an hour, well, I did shoot. I wasn't meant to shoot anyone for an hour, and I didn't. And then I did. No,
you went,
but that was
no.
yeah. No, like just being so close to the enemy, like, and them not knowing that you're there, and you listening in on their conversation, like your heart is going boom, boom, boom. It's scary. And then I got discovered because they literally, well, they came and literally stood on me almost, and I had to defend myself. So yeah. Anyway, that was fun.
I got to admit, that's the one thing that I do quite like. I don't have the patience to be a sniper. I literally don't. I know for a fact I don't. But the fact of like being sneaky and hiding and having like such a good system and just hiding there and watching people walk past you, I think the adrenaline rush from that is going to be wicked. But the trouble is with me, I'd be like, they're there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let anyone walk past. I'd just be groping people as they, attacking people.
That went from one form of predator to a different form of predator very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I don't like the way that it's called stalking, but it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Stalking humans in a game.
Not out in public or anything like that. Just to clarify.
What did you do on your Sunday? Oh, I hid in a bush and watched some grown men.
Yeah.
You see, you laugh, but like that Mac House that we did with Defiant, that was literally the event. We carved our way into a bush, and then for 24 hours or so, we were just in that bush, just watching people. So that was a hard one to explain to people.
Yeah.
You mentioned obviously about the Sniper Only event. So for those that aren't aware of Empire Rising and those sorts of styles of events and things, can you kind of give us a bit of a rundown and sort of what one might expect from that sort of style of event?
So as the title says, snipers only. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You're allowed a pistol, and you have very strict ammo limits. So the whole game is based on, I think it was an old organization in the UK called the Hunteering Organization, and then it was kind of there was a split, and it went to Sniper Ops, and now it's Empire Rising. But basically, the events are based on real life sniper training. I don't know if this is true. I don't really care. It's airsoft now, but basically, you have 10 pairs or maybe 8 pairs of 2 snipers. So you're all in pairs, and you're all against each other. And you have very strict ammo limits. This is going to shock people, but you're only allowed about 20 BBs for your sniper and 20 BBs for your pistol for the whole day. And there is opportunities to get a few more BBs throughout the day, but the idea is that you only take the shot when you know it's going to count. And then you all start on the edge of the map at different points, and you make your way into the center of the map where you have to gather information. So that can be like that's where it's quite the people who invented the game, I think, named it quite well. They called it hunteering because it's a cross between hunting and orienteering. So you have to get to places on a big map whilst hunting. And there is, I don't know if you've done hunting before, but there is quite a strong correlation between actual hunting animals and this event, because if you get spotted, you've basically lost the engagement already, and that's a bit like hunting. If a deer spots you, you can't kill the deer because they're just going to run away. And it's the same in this game. If you are the first ones to get spotted, all the other person has to do is lie down on the ground and wait till you get close and then shoot you. So it's all about not being spotted. It's all about being sneaky. The sites that we're very lucky to have a site that is perfect for it in is it Surrey? Yeah. And yeah, so it's a big map. It's probably one of the biggest airsoft sites in the UK, although it's not an airsoft site, it's a private bit of land, but it's only used for this event. And it's good fun. We've done, I think there's been 3 events now. I've only been to 2, and yeah, it's a good laugh. And then at the end of the day, we all build a big fire and yeah, have a barbecue. So yeah, highly recommend.
We've done a couple of them.
Yeah. So is there more?
Not as snipers. But...
So
do we know if Empire Rising are or Empire events are going to be doing more of these events this year?
Well, Kenny. So my understanding is Kenny doesn't want to do any more, but I, with Lance, would be very happy to run them of our own accord. Obviously, Kenny lives on the bit of land that is connected to it, so he's been involved, but he wouldn't need, I think, any involvement. I think I could do it. I could organize it with Lance to do it. It's very easy to run because the people that, generally speaking, snipers are not new to airsoft, so you don't have to worry about new players at all. So keeps things easy like that. Sorry, please. I need some water.
Grey Fox has just asked, who's the new guy? So we're joined this evening by Ed, aka Silly Ghillie. So if you haven't heard of him before, YouTube,
check
out
his YouTubes.
Yeah.
Grey Fox is my friend.
All right.
Oh, well, that just makes me look like a nerd. Sorry. Grey Fox, this is Andy. He's not new. He's been here a while.
Part of the furniture now.
Okay. No, I'm going to be back in 1 sec. Sorry.
No worries, mate.
So we did. Well, we might as well talk about the EMU element that's at some of these sniper events that we've done. So we've attended as kind of staff, I guess, from the perspective of the event, basically providing targets for the snipers to a certain extent.
NPCs, basically.
Yeah, so if you've ever played a computer game, you've got your computer-generated people that are running around, and think of like GTA. They shoot back, basically, some people, and some people don't. And that was the kind of role that we were playing. I know the first event was reined in quite a lot, so we were finding that we can see you. We know there's a sniper over there, but we had to pretend there wasn't. So just sort of randomly doing patrols and like, oh, I'll go over here now.
Randomly change direction.
Yeah, it was the second one was a little bit more free reign in terms of sort of being able to actually do patrols and stuff to kind of hinder the movements. We're just talking about the EMU element, Ed, from Empire Rising events.
Yes, I forgot that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you said that.
Yeah, basically.
Go off on a long
NPCs.
spiel about the PMC and then realise you've just said it.
yeah. NPCs that don't glitch out and walk into trees. I mean, some do. I've seen.
I spent some time in the first one we did because we were told to like not be too much, like not be too aggressive. I spent a bit of time just walking at a tree a little bit because I thought it was insane. Marky Mark was there as well. I was on the staff team at Empire Rising 2 and it was really enjoyable. Some of the role playing was extremely funny. So yeah, it was good fun.
Yep, and Grey Fox said, "So good to see you back as well." I presume that's to Ed, not us.
I'm assuming it's Ed.
Yeah.
Grey Fox also said, "I did the event partnered up with Cam Man a while back. Absolutely fantastic event. I wiped out the patrol at Security Crossing solo." Oh, that's not good for us.
We know what we're talking about. We got taken out by one person. Well, hopefully we see more of those.
That was the best event. It was last year, wasn't it? The year before.
Might have been the year before.
No, it was last. It wasn't last year.
Year before last.
It was the year before.
Yeah, that was.
I haven't seen that long ago.
Yeah, one of the best Airsoft events I think I've done.
So potentially some more of those in 2025.
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
That was a question. Sorry, maybe I should put more reflection at the end.
Yeah, just a comment, just as casual.
I had another question for you, Ed, and I've lost it. It was all written down. I had them already. I'm very sorry.
You told me you wanted to ask about what ghillie to get, or no?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah. So ghillie systems and the like. So we've talked about this before, but from the perspective of a new player who's looking to get into sniping or concealment systems in any way, what would be your kind of recommendations for having a go? Is it a case of going out and purchasing a pre-made one, be it sort of like the KMCS, or some sort of alternative like that, or making one from like the Rusco or Rus 4 hoods, whatever they're called.
Yeah, the one you have,
or even just a jacket, like stitching stuff on. Where does someone go? What's the plan?
Well, leaf suits is the broad term for kind of the latest gear that airsofters use. Definitely don't get the spaghetti monster ghillies that you see. I see it every time at my news site that when a new player gets into airsoft, the first thing they want to do, if they've seen like the videos and stuff, is get a ghillie suit, and they often do go for the spaghetti monster ghillie suit, and they soon realize it's just useless. Not only is it like not good for woodland, it overheats you. It's not camouflaged. It looks like green long grass, and you're playing in a wood where there is no long green grass. And even when you go into grassland, the color of it doesn't look anything like the color of grass. It's too dark. So stay away from those. Leaf suits are kind of where it's at. And there's really 2, maybe 3 brands that you might want to go for. So one is the KMCS. The second one are the Novrich suits, and he does quite a large range of different colored Novrich suits. And then another leaf suit that you might want to go for are the MFH suits. They're a bit cheaper, but they're still a good color. And what I took, those 3 brands I mentioned there are the full set, so they'll cover you from head to toe in leaves. And then other sort of base ghillie suits that you might consider are like something that just covers your head, shoulders, and lower back, like the Rust camo one that you have that you can get on eBay. It does. I don't know if they still sell them because they did actually come from Russia. So
yeah, they've stopped. I was looking at these the other day, funnily enough.
So, but yeah, there's alternatives to that. There's the Viper Tactical Concealment Vest, which is okay. It's multicam, but you do have to work on that. So that's a base suit. But yeah, my one piece of advice for ghillies is that keep it really simple. Like there's loads of other things you're going to be thinking about with learning how to use a bolt action and setting up your scope, zeroing your scope, all that kind of stuff. That the ghillie suit, just keep it really simple. Don't buy cheap. Anything under £100 is probably not going to do the job. So stick to those brands that I mentioned. And then it comes to crafting, which is what I kind of specialize in, which is once you've got your base suit, it's then a matter of adjusting it to the environment. And obviously, if in the army, what they do is they build a ghillie suit out of the natural vegetation. Basically, no airsofters do this because one, you'd have to do it every single game day. Two, it falls off throughout because you're running around. And three, it overheats you when you're running around. So we use synthetic materials, such as the packs that I sell. And those materials are meant to mimic the environment as best they can. We sell AGM, which is a fabric which is meant to catch the light in the same way that green leaves do, and you can attach it onto your suit with cable ties, and this all comes in the pack. But yeah, there's lots of other things you can attach. You can make raffia yourself. You can dye raffia. I've done a whole video on my YouTube channel of how to craft a ghillie. But yeah, that's the sort of advice on the ghillie part. I won't. Do you want to talk about gear as well? Or?
Yeah, go for it. Because I know there's the thing I've always struggled with is gun wraps, because I bought a really cheap one off of eBay, which was almost like a spaghetti monster string that I just kind of wrapped around and then stuck that in a bush, and it pulled out half the bush, and then I never got any of it out again. So it still has bits of that bush stuck to it to this day. So what's the best way of doing that?
Well, I use you can get it on eBay. It's called scapper tape or sniper tape, and it is literally just tape that you just tape onto your ghillie. It doesn't leave any residue on your rifle if you want to take it back off, and then you can paint that, or you can rub mud on it, or attach stuff to it. But that acts as like a base layer for your gun, so it makes it not black, basically. Other alternatives, just like cut a bit of mesh. You can buy this off Empire Airsoft, just plain mesh, and just wrap it around the gun and hold it tight, and then attach ghillie stuff to that. That's what a lot of people do, actually.
So are there any new techniques or anything that you've come up with or thinking of doing for next year, or is it just kind of there's not really much in, like, it just like it's a standard practice?
I could go into this at length, but I think that the plan this year will definitely be to do some more tutorials on my YouTube channel, because there is a lot of stuff that I've picked up from people like Gary Fox and Hutchie, and it's just a matter of like sharing that information on a wider scale. Like I did a video on scopes a few years ago that did really well, and that helped people out from what I could tell. So yeah, doing it with gun wraps, I can definitely see myself doing one specific to that. But yeah.
Your painting of your scapper tape, because you've done some very intricate sort of different designs and the like. What's been your two questions here, because that might not be the same answer. What's been your favorite one to do? So, like, it's a design that you've seen and you've gone, I really want to replicate that. And what's been your most successful in terms of actually working?
Pencott. Yeah, I like the Pencott. So I cut like a stencil out of foam to make the little square pixels that you get on Pencott design, and then did a whole paint job on scapper tape on my M4. And I think the way that turned out, it was quite pretty. Not probably not as good as a ghillie wrap, but I was more going for looks over camouflage, if I'm honest.
Cool.
Yeah, I got to admit,
I was
like
very jealous of that.
Yeah.
It was that one I was thinking of when I asked the question, because I was like, it did look very cool. I don't know if I would have the patience to sit there.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of art and stuff, so I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Pencott works well as a camo, I think, especially in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it's one of the best camos out there for UK environment.
That's for those that don't know.
Yeah.
That's Pencott, and that's my camo job.
Yeah. So obviously, with you recording a lot of your and shots and stuff, obviously you've got to have a lens, and I do find that sometimes it's the lenses that give people away, like if they catch the light and things. Do you do anything to counteract that, or is that just something you've got to kind of do to, like, is it one of those suck it and
I was going to show you my GoPro. So I was going to show you my GoPro, but last weekend someone shot the protective lens out, so I ripped it off.
Oh.
That ripped the camouflage. So this is not how to camouflage a GoPro. Normally, I would put scapper tape around the edge, so there's just a tiny little hole.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Same with scopes. Like, you get that big black dot. Is a good idea to put a little rim of camouflage tape around that if you can. But yeah, it's all kind of common sense stuff. Try and imagine what it looks like from someone looking at you. Yeah.
Someone suggested, it's Land Nav Challenge. At Ed, if we send you a picture of our suits, could you give us tips to improve them? I feel like this is a potential future episode we could do. We could line up like 20 or 30. Yeah. I mean, Grey Fox kind of took it in a slightly different direction with a roast my ghillie segment. Which, for a show that tries to promote positivity, could get quite negative quite quickly.
It'd be hilarious.
Talking of roasting my ghillie, there was in Brazil a military parade of different regiments, and one was the sniper regiment, and they all came out in their ghillie suit, and a firework went off, and one of the sparks hit the ghillie suit, and it caught alight, and he died.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he roasted in his ghillie, but yeah. So
I feel like the ghillie with the flaming hands. Yeah, I feel like the ghillie with the flaming hands is now very inappropriate.
Yeah.
That was funnily enough, when I started crafting. I say crafting, I'm not even going to go down the route of calling it crafting. When I started kind of dipping my toe into making some hoods, like vaguely camouflage hoods, I went down the whole silly string, spaghetti monster type thing. I was like, yeah, I could buy loads of this and just attach it all. And then immediately I was like, this is the most flammable thing I think I could have made. Yeah. I went out and bought a whole load of bottles of flame retardant that you put on furniture. And just sort of soaked everything in that, and then turns out that stinks, that stuff. So yeah, if you're gonna consider flame retarding your clothing, try to bear in mind that they are quite strong chemicals, as it turns out. You just mentioned about camouflage suits and things like that. And I know we've talked about this before, and I feel like this is one that's open for ribbing without any kind of active follow-up, unless North Korea is going to suddenly invade. But this is an overview of camouflage patterns used by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is an absolute classic. And I just love the contrast between the surroundings and what they're wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, in the summer they might be camouflaged. That's probably taken in the winter. So, and they can't. We're talking about North Korea here. They can't afford 2 sets of clothes.
I mean, to be fair, they got. There's a load of them over in Russia at the moment, isn't they? And all they've been doing is stealing Russian equipment and masturbating, from the sounds of things, because they got introduced to the internet, didn't they? So, like,
Yes,
go North Korea.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the latest camouflage pattern used by North Korea, but it's the image that always get whenever anybody says, because you know you get the Chinese websites like we'll go back to Temu and AliExpress and things like that. You Google ghillie suits on there. Just some of them are just such a lurid bright green, and it always reminds me.
The other funny thing about that photo is the most important bit to camouflage is the head, and they've just got a massive black furry hat with the golden emblem on it, as if they're actually going into combat like that.
The one I love is the guy right at the front. He's like, I ain't gonna aim. This is just I'm just putting rounds down range.
Where's the aiming? Like they're just
I mean, based on the extrapolated of that photo, they're shooting someone up a hill. Let's just work on that principle.
Yeah.
He's also got his eyes closed, and no, that's not a joke. He has actually got his eyes closed.
So yeah, maybe I'm just going to move on very quickly. Maybe in the future we'll do a not a roast my ghillie, but like a ghillie's tip. Ghillie's tips. Segment that might be quite insane. I'll have to get you back on, Ed. Do something like that. But we're not doing a roast my ghillies. It's meant to be a positive show. We're meant to be boosting people's confidence and things, not just stripping them down.
I mean, we might add it at the end though, Grey Fox. I'll work on that one because I quite like the sound of it. We'll get some like I'll build one. You can roast the crap out of that.
In terms of video content, Ed, for 2025, you obviously mentioned that you kind of want to go down a slightly different route to your silly episodes. Not that they're not going to be your. I don't know what I'm talking about. You talked about having a core theme for your 2025 sort of videos and things like that. Are you going to be looking at kind of the potential for like sniper wins game with shotgun or something like that? Because I always think it'd be quite interesting to see ghillie players using different weapons platforms. Not as like all the time.
I have done this. So I have tried different weapons platforms, but the thing is, everyone just loves snipers, and I love snipers as well. So, I mean, Cam Man's great for this. Like Airsoft Cam Man is his name, but he tries loads of different weapons, and he's not tied to ghillie suits, although he does play a lot in ghillie suits. His channel isn't like dedicated to that. So yeah, people just like seeing that one BB go through the air and hitting the target.
The one thing I'd love to do, and I'm sure it's possible. Everyone knows I'm not that techie, but I would like for someone to get the sniper rifle internals and then put them into a shotgun, like a pump action shotgun. Surely it's the same it's the same mechanism, so you can use the same springs and stuff. Because I think it would be hilarious for people if you just put out a shotgun and aim it at someone, and they're miles, like they're further than what a shotgun would normally, and you just pick them off with one shot. I think that'd be hilarious.
You could get away with breaking MED really easily with that as well.
You're just small children's legs getting rips off as they run past.
No, that's a joke. I don't condone that.
I was just thinking for a follow-up
accidents happen, boys and girls.
I was just thinking for a follow-up shot, it's a case of like where you spent, a few minutes aiming with your shotgun, you fired, and you've got to completely break contact and reload your rifle and bring it back in again. It's been nightmare.
That's what I mean. Like, it'd be hilarious though, wouldn't it? So you could be sniper, Grey Fox, but yeah.
Have you ever tried an LMG with a ghillie suit, Ed? Because I can promise you, Andy and I have, and it is so much fun.
Yeah.
But is it fun because of the novelty of wearing a ghillie suit and using an LMG, or is it actually effective?
Oh no, it's
very effective.
Yeah, I genuinely, I had a game where a marshal came over and said, like, you've either got to lose the LMG or lose the ghillie or pull back because they don't know where you are and you're taking them out all the time. So I was like, okay, I'll pull back. Oh, it works well.
I've never had that issue, so I don't get that many kills, Andy. So,
but this is where you're missing out on the LMG.
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, an LMG and a sniper next to each other in a ghillie, like fully ghillied up, hidden. I very much doubt they'd ever get past you as a pair. It's like a match made in heaven. Maybe we could go and hide in a bush together, Ed. Just saying. 2025.
I was at NAE 2023. I think it was. We bumped into each other there, Ed. Was it that one?
Yeah.
And I know we found each other in the safe zone, and we were like, "Oh, it's each other!" Like little cuddle, and then we went off and had a little kind of hunt together. And I think it was, I can't remember if it was Cam Man with you then. Might have been. I can't remember who was with you then. There were three of us, I know. So you kind of hung back because I was in no way ghillied up or anything like that. And we came under contact, and I just sprinted forward and dived under a bush, and then spent the next 5 minutes just kicking the bush, laying on the ground, just kicking the bush with BBs raining down on the bush, like just trying to kind of give. Yeah, just give you guys the shots.
You didn't even credit yourself at the time for doing that. I didn't hear about it until I went on your podcast afterwards.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It's not about the credit. It's just about getting those kills.
Yeah.
So he nobly sacrificed himself for you. Is that what you were saying?
There was quite a funny, like, wholesome moment at Redcon at Shift Your Rift 2 years ago. So I was getting loads of kills in this bush, and suddenly I heard a twig snap behind me. I looked around, and another ghillie on the enemy team was like there with his pistol. He shot me, and then he was like, "Oh, are you Silly Ghillie?" And I was like, "Yes, you've stopped the video." And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll medic you back in." I was like,
"Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant! What a legend!"
This is how you play Airsoft, right? And then I just went back to killing people. But
yeah. And then when he medicked him, he medicked. You just knife killed him. You're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to see that video. That has to, if you captured that, we need
put
to
that in the video. That would give away the fact that, like, that would make me look not good.
I mean, if he offered and you accepted.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're all laughing at this, but a lot of people would not find that funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
There's a lot of people on the internet, Andy, that aren't like us.
Yes, that's the point.
If you've got any questions for Ed, please feel free to throw them into the chat. We are sort of coming to the end of the show. Grey Fox said Hero Shark has made a pump action MK23 that runs at 400 FPS in a Heath Robinson carbine kit. You ready?
Interesting.
Might have to have a look at that.
Pump action MK23.
He also said the new Kilo 29 suits are a great new addition to the market. I've not seen these.
Have you seen these?
No, I haven't.
You have to. I'm gonna Google that now.
There you go. You confused. Everyone's gone. Oh, haven't heard of these. Nice one, Grey Fox. I feel like this is.
Excellent content.
Like any ghillie products that I haven't heard of, like. I'll look it up later.
Wait to hear back, Ed.
Thermal
Thermal
is obviously a big problem for traditional ghillie suits or leaf suits or anything like that. are you or have you looked at ways of combating these, either yourself or your friends in the community?
Well, I tried eating ice cream. No.
Just lathering
No.
himself up.
There isn't really a
That's a
way.
patch.
I mean, we've had this conversation before. Most players, not actually, Milsim is different, but most players in the daytime, even at a Milsim, are not going to bother bringing their thermal out because, okay, there might be a few ghillies on the enemy team, but are they really going to be enough to warrant carrying a heavy thermal scope around, risking it getting shot at? No. But yeah, and also I play, like I do the events that you play, but I also play skirmishes as well. And at skirmishes, nobody has thermals. I mean, it's just, why would you? So no, I'm not really worried about the. Yeah, I mean, I use thermals at Milsims. Like I have my own thermal, and it is amazing. And yes, you can see ghillies, but that's at night, where it wouldn't matter if I was wearing a ghillie or not wearing a ghillie.
What about the sniper-only events? Presumably, such sort of visual aids are.
Yeah, they're banned because it just defeats the whole point. I mean, one of the things I didn't mention about the sniper-only events is that they are quite competitive. Like they've got a feeling of competition that I haven't actually seen at any other airsoft event ever, and it works because everyone is like wanting to play by the rules and knows each other, and it's like a small group, but it is competitive, which is cool, which I think is quite cool. I mean, it's actually speeds. There are some speed softer leagues that I guess would be more competitive, but yeah. The other thing about snipers is we're all running cameras, so if you decide to cheat at one of those events, you're not going to be coming back.
Yeah, you got caught cheating by 30 people. Oh.
Do you think that with kind of like the price reduction and sort of enhances in technology and stuff, that will become more prevalent? I mean, I know we sort of say at the moment that it's not really carried by players, but you know, you look at sort of 5 years ago, it wasn't really carried by players at all. It was very rare to see thermal or MVG floating around Milsims or skirmishes or anything like that.
They're not that expensive now. You can get a good thermal, like a camera that would detect a ghillie at 50 meters. I think you can spend like 200, 300 quid. It's not going to like outline their shape, but it will appear as like a dot on the screen, and that's kind of all you need, isn't it?
Yeah, if you roughly know where they are.
Yeah.
So do you think maybe, you know, we'll talk it another 5 years' time that ghillie suits will have to be adapted to that?
Yeah, well, they are already in the military being adapted. So there's a company in Italy called Proapto Snipers, Proapto Ghillies, and I don't know what it is exactly, but it's an insulation layer that goes under the ghillie. So it's both night vision, IR resistant, or you know what I'm trying to say. It can't be seen through nods, and also thermal. And yeah, it's pretty cool. You know when athletes finish a marathon, sometimes they get wrapped in a foil sheet.
Yeah,
it's that same. I think it's the same thing as that. So it reflects heat inwards and doesn't let anything escape. Yeah.
But then you've obviously got to have some sort of cooling system underneath, because all your heat that you're.
It doesn't let. That's the point of this sheet. It doesn't let any heat out at all.
Yeah, so you'd end up personally cooking inside your ghillie suit.
Oh yes,
so you'd have some sort of.
Well, you wouldn't be. Yeah, but in the military, you wouldn't be moving, so
No, true. Yeah,
you wouldn't overheat so quickly, and also you might be in a cold climate. But yeah,
there's I was talking about this. There's a bomb disposal suit on eBay at the moment, which is the cooling system that goes underneath the suit, So that'll be quite a quirky purchase for anybody that's willing to spend £200 or £300 on the ability to keep themselves cool.
I'm surprised you haven't bought it, to be honest.
I don't need the cooling suit. I need the outer bit and the helmet, which are a lot harder to get hold of.
Yeah.
But no, it's quite interesting. I can sort of see in the next 5 years that's going to be more of a thing in milsim specifically, because I think as the real steel technology evolves, I think Airsoft is going to be keeping up with the latest innovations, really, because technology is evolving in such a way that gives people night vision, it gives people thermal vision. What comes out after that, who knows? We're already seeing drones more and more in Airsoft because drones are more and more prevalent in the real world. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what comes out in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah, definitely.
A whole load of Eds running around in spacesuits, like shiny Ghillie.
The thing I most want to see in the next 5 years is a kind of documentary exposing the BB industry on charging 10 times more for sniper BBs than regular player BBs, because we all fucking know there's no difference in plastic between a 2.5 and a 4.8, yet the 4.8 is literally 10 times the price. There's no.
I think it's because they make less.
Well, even so, it's not 10 times. They don't get to charge you 10 times. Just do a big batch. Do a big batch.
I can see it on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Heavy balls. Are they worth the price?
Narrated by Ed.
There's some real first world problems going on around here.
Yeah.
That's one of them. I mean, it's not even a world, it's like an alternative reality world, but yeah.
So, do you think the BB manufacture could be done by more domestic companies to the UK or like US? Because from my understanding, a lot of them are done, or a lot of BBs are manufactured sort of towards China and Taiwan and places like that.
I think a lot of them's Taiwan.
There are only 2 BB factories in the world. One is in China, one is in Taiwan. And the one I don't know about the one in China, but the one in Taiwan started as a gem polishing business. So they had all the machines that used to polish gems to make them shiny, and they switched over to BB manufacture, and that's how. Yeah, that's it.
But do you think it's something that there's a market for in the UK? Then, if you could, I mean, I don't know what the cost of manufacturing a BB costs really.
No, it's just because the labor costs are tiny in Taiwan. I mean, the other thing is just there's nothing wrong with the BBs from Taiwan, and you're not going to be able to produce them cheaper. And at the end of the day, that's the main thing. You're never going to be able to beat them on cost.
So are they
maybe a trip to Taiwan is in order, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, I was just waiting. So you reckon that? So the price is cheaper in Taiwan. So where is that markup coming in then? Do you see it? Do you see it as from the factory, or do you see it from the retailers, or because someone somewhere is making that decision to charge? You say like 10 times the price for,
it is 10 times the price. It is 10 times the price, but I think that's just they know that. They know about sniping and how you only use a few more BBs, and they're not making any money from. They'd make no money from you if you only shot 50 BBs at the same price as 2.5s. So they're charging more. They're just filling. It's like a fake equilibrium in the market. Yeah. What was your question? Sorry, does that answer your question?
Not quite. No. No, I was just wondering, like, do the BBs cost this? I mean, are a 0.25 and a 0.5 gram BB the same from the factory in terms of cost? I mean, I don't know. I've not looked into it. I'm assuming that you have your sudden outburst of rage.
They go through exactly the same manufacturing process, but the actual plastic that's used for a heavier BB has more metal powder added to it. So the thing that makes BBs heavier one from the other is they mix plastic powder with metal powder and merge them together. By the way, I'm not advocating the use of metal BBs. I'm just,
yeah, it's just how
that's
they're
how they-
like ours are made.
yeah, exactly.
I like conspiracy time with Ed. Maybe we should do this once a month. Conspiracy time.
It's not a
with Ed.
conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's just it's
known fact.
Known fact. Well, then, yeah, I suppose obviously, like, I know this is going to sound more like it's going to sound ridiculous. Is that obviously the metal powder will obviously cost more than plastic. Then they're heavier, so that your a box of 2/8s you'll get less in a box of 4/8s. So then the shipping people will add it on, and then there's probably some weird tax that the government stick on it because it's a certain weight, because they just
it's over a certain metal content.
Yeah, or something stupid
Metal
like that.
tax.
So it ends up by the time it gets from manufacturing, where it probably only a couple of mil, like a couple of, I don't know what currency do they use in Taiwan dollars, from like maybe $1 Taiwan dollar more. By the time it's got through the whole shipping process and into the UK, it's probably ended up £6.
I'm adding it to the list. We're gonna be getting
yeah,
an
we'll find out for you.
manufacturer.
Yeah, we'll find out for you, Ed.
It's not like I'm not alone in this conspiracy. Like, I've talked to lots of people, and they all agree that they're just trying to squeeze as much money from snipers as possible.
I can see it now. At the start of the documentary, there'll just be loads of snippets of Ed and various other snipers going, "Why are BBs so expensive?"
Yeah.
There'll be the slow pan
We're
around.
being
Taiwan
discriminated. If you think about it, snipers are also the most.
It's sniper racism.
It's discrimination against the greens. So we are actually technically the most green, like environmentally friendly airsofters in existence, because we only use about like 1% of the amount of ammo compared to everyone else.
So would you say you are carbon neutral airsofters? Have you got to that stage yet?
Well, I do try and plant my bushes everywhere I go, you know.
Maybe that's what we need. We need little BBs with a seed on the inside, and they could be carbon neutral, can't they?
Yeah.
It'd be like, this one BB is going to change the world.
In 65 years. There you go. That would be the true.
We could call them tree bees.
Tree bees.
I did have a thought the other day. I'm just running it past. If everyone in the UK played airsoft, we would need to plant a lot more trees, wouldn't we? So it would actually be a green movement, and everyone would be happy because they were playing airsoft. So it might actually be a pull to being green rather than a push, which is what the government is trying to do. So, you know, thinking outside.
I think as an industry, if we're talking about going green, I think as an industry, we genuinely need to. I say as an industry because we don't manufacture anything. Airsoft as a hobby or a sport should, if we properly want to do it, just ban anything non-bio. Just ban it straight away, easy peasy. Every BB. Now I appreciate that bio BBs are, you know, it's not a case of a bio BB, you put it on the ground, it's going to disappear in 3 weeks' time. Right? A lot of these bio BBs, I think there's all sorts of tests that have been done by various people,
it's like
backyard scientists.
It's still like 10,000 years or something.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's that long, but
I think it's slightly less than that, because I think that's 10,000 years for a normal BB.
I mean, the way the world is going right now, does it really matter? Because, you know, it sounds like AI is going to take over. There's going to be a nuclear war. Who fucking cares if we're littering the forest with BBs? You know?
No, it matters. It matters.
Yeah.
If we take a negative stance, we're all going to die next week. There's not much point in doing anything.
Oh no, I'm just going to go and play Airsoft and have fun.
Yeah, I just think that.
Sorry, you've got me on my
genuinely just
my streak now of having a moon, but yeah.
No, I think all non-bio BBs should be banned, just flat out. Have bio BBs as a standard thing, and then there is more of an argument for allowing more airsoft sites and the like, because at the moment I get what you're saying. Like an airsoft site is great because it maintains woodland. If everyone played, they'd be the busiest places on earth. But we are just currently taking plastic to the woods and just going, ha ha.
Well,
I mean,
I'm going as a sniper. I'm just going.
You're going, ha ha.
I mean, as an LMG gunner, I am probably probably the worst. Yeah, I might as well just be. I mean, I'll tell you what, this will be my I will move over 100% to bio BBs if I'm allowed plastic straws. That is it. That is my. If the government can allow me to have plastic,
you can have a plastic straw, Andy. You can have a plastic straw. It just has to be a reusable plastic straw.
No, I just want one that I can chuck in the bin and forget about it. Right? I have to do that with the stupid bottle caps. No. I have to do it with the stupid bottle caps.
How about bio BBs here? No, the stupid bottle caps I agree with. That doesn't make any sense. But the bio BBs, we'll have the bio BBs, and we come up with a more sustainable version than the paper straws that we keep getting given, because they are, and I grant you, completely wank. You take 3 sips of your drink and they're complete mush.
Or
just recycle them.
No straw.
No straw.
Yeah, no straws.
But then
be an adult.
Yeah.
How am I going? I'm not going to have a milkshake. I'm just going to cut that out of my diet.
There you go. Our tagline: bio BBs and drink more teas.
Yeah.
I think genuinely we should do it. We should We'll ban bio BBs or ban BBs as a whole.
Yeah.
We need to get the company in Taiwan polishing peas, dried peas. Get them working on that.
I think all airsoft guns apart from snipers should be banned, and everyone should just come and play Empire Rising and forget about full auto and semi-auto and just have snipers. It's the way to play.
Or just play indoors.
Well, yeah.
You'd need very big CQB sites for an indoor CQB sniper arena, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Do they recycle those BBs that we put in the bins at Blackstone?
Yes.
You didn't sound certain. Yeah.
I mean, I don't tidy up, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I we have a plastic recycle bin that they get thrown into. I don't know. And then obviously it's down to the magic machines to work out if they're recyclable or not.
Fair enough.
I genuinely, after this conversation, I think we might have to have a cob on the idea of doing a NoFo campaign to ban BBs, non-bio BBs. I think it's something that we should bring to the community.
I mean, you can, but I generally don't care. I'm not going to be honest. I'll be dead by the time it's an issue, so...
That's people like you.
Yeah. I mean, I returned our recycling bin. I was like, take it back.
He actually shredded it and turned it into his own BBs and just sprinkled it in the woods. Ed, Pegasus asks, what's your thoughts on the Novrich full thrust kits?
I've seen them. They're really good. Basically, do you know what he's talking about there? So Novrich has made a BB that was this big into this big. And he's increased the size by like a tiny bit. And it does mean they are heavier. So you can get 0.56 are the heaviest. And I've shot them and they fly really, really straight. The only problem is it takes quite a long time for the BB to hit the target, which means that if you're trying to hit someone who's moving around, it's very hard. You have to aim like well in front and stuff. But yeah,
and it just that will just increase your YouTube videos, won't it? So a 5-minute video will now be a 5.5-minute video, which is just too long, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's actually increased. It's increased the YouTube video by that much.
Yeah. As it flies through the air, you got to just have a slow, jaunty music.
A few moments later.
Dong.
Grey Fox 0.5 BBs are quite magnetic. Interesting.
Yeah, once you get over 0.48, you can't get white BBs anymore, which makes them invisible to see when you look through the scope. So it's harder to hit your targets.
I like grey, green, or black BBs. Having fired a couple through, I think they were Bulldog BBs.
Well, they give your position away. They like white BBs, for all they're great for you seeing where they're going. Like a lot of the time, if you're playing in a ghillie, the thing that gives you away is the BB flying through the air, which wouldn't be a thing in real life, obviously.
So black BBs for pistol shooting would be a good idea.
I mean, it'd be like putting a tracer on a sniper rifle, wouldn't it? It'd just be like
it's like putting a tracer on any weapon. I still don't understand this. I don't know why people do it. Like you go to a night game, you're hiding in a bush, and then all of a sudden you just throw a laser out to show where you're coming from.
Yeah. But I'll send you a video later, Mike.
I've seen it.
It looks cool.
It looks cool. But the number of times that I've shot the person firing the tracer because
no.
There was where I am.
There was a game in America where they had the teams literally got given different colored tracers. So it was blue versus green. And all of a sudden you just see these two colors lasing each other up. I'll send you the video. It's awesome.
Oh, right. We should probably call it the end of the show. Ed, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that? And if you don't want to talk to them, you're more than welcome to say so.
My Instagram, Silly Ghillie. I do reply to all messages there, or try to at least.
Cool. And have you got another video coming out soon that we can plug?
No. The only videos I've posted this year are just two compilation written. I haven't done a long video yet.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on the pipeline for that one.
So in theory, this is your longest videos of the year.
Well, I mean, apart from that one that I put up on the website. But yeah.
Oh, what, the OnlyFans one?
Anyway, if you want to join us next week, we're going to be talking about getting your kit ready for a 2025 era of events. What am I trying to say? For the 2025 season. That's the word, not era. So that's going to be talking about getting your kit out of storage, kind of just making sure everything's working, kind of running through some little SOPs for making sure that your kit is up to scratch for what you need, as well as a little handy tip of making sure that you sew on any buttons or anything, doing little DIY tasks that you might need to do for making sure that kit is ready. Ed, we always finish the show with some closing words, which is some lasting advice for listeners to go away with at the end of the show. So, as our guest, would you like to impose some words of wisdom to our audience?
Don't use non-bio BBs.
Love it.
Awesome.
Save bushes.
There's a counter move, Mike. There's a counter move.
If you want to join us on the show next week, we will be back at 8:00 on Wednesday. In the meantime, you can get in touch with the show on our email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is at November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and the website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. If you are interested in the Buy Me a Coffee at all, or when we do get some t-shirts, which will, as I say, be coming out imminently, you can check out our website. There is a little wiggly yellow cup on the top right of the website, which denotes to buy me a coffee. If you're on a desktop platform, if you're on your mobile, I believe it's in the bottom left. But it should be very clear on the website. So if you've got any problems, you can also get in touch with us and ask. But we will be branding it as well and putting things out on Instagram.
Morning, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
We're going now. Have a good day.
Lastly, we are looking at some guests for 2025. We are already made quite an interesting list of guests, ranging from, and I'm going to mention this because this was Lance's idea. Keanu Reeves was on the list, and we have
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, we have made positive. I don't know why we even tried. We've made positive movements to try and get Keanu Reeves on the show. Whether that's going to happen or not, probably not. But there is also a number of other guests that we are lining up.
More related. And
yes, so
easier to contact.
If there's anyone that you would like to suggest for the show, we are now in the process of organising that. We are looking to try and get Phil on the list because we want to talk about Airsoft in Australia. I haven't contacted Phil yet, though, so he doesn't know that. Phil, consider this as contacting you.
Yeah.
In the meantime, have an absolutely fantastic week. Thanks, Ed, again for joining us on the show and for kicking off our 2025. We will get you back on in 2025 because I really like the idea of this. It's Ed's tips on ghillie suits. I think that'd be quite entertaining. I'll even come up with a privatized jingle for you that we can play at the start of the show. Right, on that note, we'll see you all next week. Have a cracking week and stay
have fun. Stay NoFo.
Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Say bye, Mike.
Cheers.
Bye, Ed.
Bye.
See you soon.
Big up the Bio BB.